Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jafer. And if you're looking for a good option, if you have a wired mouse that you really swear by, for instance, a lot of folks do love the Viper Mini. The best thing that you can then invest in is not only just a better paracord or other third-party feet, but also a mouse bungee. And this is simply called Razer's Mouse Bungee V3, their third iteration on a very simple concept, but one that's super effective. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I pulled out the other mouse bungees that I do have to give you a rough idea on exactly the size comparison between one over the other if you're in the market for a mouse bungee. With the V3 being up front, of course, you have your Steel Series, your Xtrfy B4, you also have your Esports Tiger Lunar Dial, and then the tried and true Zowie. Now the main focus and purpose of a mouse bungee is to reduce that drag that you might have if the cable is going to be resting on the desk, or if you were to have the actual cable resting off of the edge of your desk or table. This will help prevent any drag, any weird noises, as well as it's just less of a distraction for you. As you can see here, it does prop it up, which is really nice. So it gives you that feeling of a full wireless mouse with it still being wired. And of course, you always want to extend it all the way to the edge of your mat, whether that be all four corners and closest to you. So you know that this bungee is going to provide as much of a cable as you need without it dragging as well, or it being too tight and it end up flipping the bungee itself. To simply install your mouse into your mouse bungee, you're going to take the actual end where the cable catches, as they call it, and you're just going to simply press it into the ditch, I guess you could say, of the mouse bungee. And then if you work it back and forth, it'll actually go right into the rubber. And then you have another contact point right at the back. You just take your thumb, press it in, and you're good to go. And because this does have the Chroma RGB, you are going to need to have an additional USB port available on your computer to handle the 6-foot braided cable that it does come with. It's not really paracord like at all, but it is slightly flexible. So if you need to make additional cable management on the back of your desk, you'll have no problem doing so, as this you'll be able to work with this with no problem. I will say I did attempt to plug this into an Anker USB power outlet just to see if it'll turn on, and it does not. So it does need to be plugged into your computer. The spring retention is really nice and smooth. It's not overly loud. So if you are someone that does produce a lot of flicks, if you're low sense, it won't necessarily be a distraction to you, as the Zowie is actually a very loud bungee. The Xtrfy doesn't really make any noise because it does use a different mechanism. It actually uses, like, I believe it's spring or a piece of steel in here, so it just kind of rebounds back like a straw. Really weird concept, but it does work. And then of course your Steel Series and the Esports Tiger, they're audible but not obnoxious like the Zowie. I will say that's really nice about this Razer, unlike the other offerings, is that this base here is metal, so obviously that's going to contribute to the overall weight of it. But everything else that's offered out there on the market is going to be plastic, at least what I have available. And the plastic's not bad. It's the overall weight that's important. And with this weighing 243, the Esports Tiger comes in at 248. The Zowie comes in at 239. The Xtrfy B4 comes in at 266. And the heaviest of the bunch is going to be the Steel Series that I have at 268 grams. Now, if we're looking at very minuscule amounts of differences, I don't think you can go wrong with either option. However, again, that nice finished metal does look pretty nice with your overall desk setup. And price-wise, the Xtrfy B4 is $17. The Lunar Dial is coming in at $19.99. Both Zowie and Steel Series is $24.99. This guy, however, is $39.99. Now, if the RGB is not a big deal to you, they do make one without RGB, and it's half the price, and it's only $19.99. So in that aspect, if you need a mouse bungee, you can't go wrong at that price. This is definitely something of a luxury purchase because of the fact that it's just going to add more lighting to your desk overall. When it comes to aesthetics though, obviously the Razer, I believe out of all of them, does win. When it comes to versatility and actually purpose, then I would say the Lunar Dial is going to be your best because of its arm being fully functional and adjustable. That's something that I don't see in any other mouse bungee. And then as far as a minimalist look, something that's really clean and does come in a bunch of different colors, the Extra 5 B4. These are all effective bungees, folks, and I know it's something that a lot of people might laugh at, but it is something that I believe is a valuable purchase if you are using a wired mouse. Outside of that, though, this is really cool, and I'm sure we'll see a version 4 in the next year or so. But until next time, I'm Jafer. Please let me know in the comments if you have a bungee, which one you do have. And if you have a wireless, let me know what wireless mouse you got. Outside of that, you guys have a great holiday and stay safe.